Well, it must be that time of the week again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another round of Wednesday Cup, presented to you by AK Racing. My name is Chris Munro. I will be your commentator for this evening. So we saw a bit of action there on track already. Some guys hitting that outside bump at turn, let me see from memory, 1, 2, 3, turn 4. There's a fast left-hander up there, and there's a hell of a bump on the outside, so we might see a few airborne Caterhams tonight. But again, welcome everyone. Welcome all the viewers out there. We had a few last week, and hopefully we're back for another dose of my silky dulcet tones, coming to you live from the AK Racing broadcasting studio. Here's the bump on the outside, just there. So Ryan Hawkins navigating that fast left-hand kink very well. Got his first race win last week, did Ryan Hawkins, in race 3 at Barbagallo. So hopefully he will be, well, not hopefully, he will definitely be looking for another gold trophy to add to his collection. Speaking of the collection, we are at Ruapuna Raceway. Speaking of nothing of collection, it doesn't make sense at all. But let's go to some mediocre free cam skills from me. I'll try and get a bit of a top view of this track. Here we go. Whoever said practice doesn't make perfect doesn't know what they're talking about, because look at that. My free cam skills are coming along. Thank you very much. As we see, we're at Ruapuna Park here, over in New Zealand, on the South Island near Christchurch. Doing the outer loop variation of this track, so we're not heading into the infield there. As you can see, there's a fair bit of infield action to be had. We're just sticking to the outer loop, so a hot lap around here is, looking at the timetables, is about a 1:04. We see a couple of drivers now into that 1:04 bracket. Luke Newing is one of them. We're going to go and see what he's up to. He's in the pits. Fergo is also in the pits. Ryan Kennedy is up to third on the timing tables. We've got a couple of new drivers this week, one of which is Arthur Liang. I'm pretty sure, or at least I hope that's how I pronounce your name. Liang. I'm going to ride on board and see how he's coping with these Caterhams. They are a hell of a lot of fun to drive, by the way. If you haven't driven them, come and find the server in Assetto Corsa. They are a ton of fun. Scott Ruffnell in the in the chat. Shout out to Luke Newing. The man's crazy. Well, there you go. I've heard a lot of things said about Luke Newing. One of them isn't crazy, so we're going to add that to the collection. Certainly a good driver, though. He's up there every week on quali pace. At least he had a bit of bad luck, really, last week in the race. So he's really behind the 8 ball in this championship. But if he can put his best foot forward, and if he can cross the line first, he'll go a good way towards winning a race. As we see Liang getting a bit squirrely into turn 2. It's turn 2. I'm probably going to call it turn 1 throughout the evening, because there is no braking zone until you get to turn 2. Here we're going to see the big jump here. Whoop, and around he goes. That's something to be very wareful of. Wareful? Mindful. Mindful and wary in the one word there. We are the Oxford Dictionary here at AK Racing. But that does conclude practice. Who was the other driver? There was, here we go, Josh Pincatelli. Pincatelli? Sorry, mate. I've butchered your name straight up. I even asked him prior to this how to pronounce it, and I've done a good job of messing that up. Expect no less from me here in the commentary box. We're here to have fun. It is a Wednesday night after all, as Ryan Hawkins takes the fastest lap with 0 time on the clock here in free practice 1. The drivers have had 60 minutes to get used to the cars, get used to the track, how it feels. And after this session, we'll be heading straight into qualifying, which is an 8-minute... got off board there with Piancatelli at the right time as he spins his way to the end of free practice. Ryan Hawkins on top, Luke Newing second, Tyler Craig third, Andrew Ferguson up there in the top 4, Ryan Kennedy fifth, Ryan Ford, the first time we've seen him in the server this series, Arthur Liang, Mark Trenery, Jamie Kennedy and Joshua Piancatelli. Ollie Longley joining the server late. But that will be us for this session. And everyone at home, you've got a couple of minutes to go home and go to the fridge, should I say. Fill up your drinks, get yourself a ham and cheese toasty and come and join us for qualifying. Don't go anywhere. New Zealand track, no New Zealand reps, says Scott Ruffnell in the chat. There is. I think you'll find that Oliver Longley is a New Zealander, and so is Reggie Righteous, who has made his way on track after having a few technical difficulties in the practice session, but he's made his way out on track, and thankfully so. So we've got Tyler Craig is making his way around his outlap, albeit haphazardly. So we'll follow Tyler around for his first helping of Ruapuna. Might even ride on board and see how he navigates this cracking circuit. He's got a bit of traffic that's come out in front of him here. That's not going to be ideal. He's going to head up into turn 1 now. Heavy braking zone into turn 2. Very squirrely in the rear. You can see that wanting to come around. So he heads his way up through turn 3 and into turn 4 is the fast left-hander. Very hard to judge where to turn in on that thing because the Caterhams do tend to be a little understeery at times, especially at high speed. They're so very softly sprung into this left-right chicane, trying to get as much drive down as possible to down this, I think it's called the Dunlop Straight, down into the final turn, which is a very long sort of cambered left-hand sweeper. He is going to get the power down well. It's looking like a pretty tidy lap here from Tyler. He's going to set the first hot lap of the day. It is a 1:05.2. Arthur Liang 3/10 behind with a 1:05.5. Hawkins yet to set his hot lap, but here he comes across the line now with a 1:04.7. So he is preliminary on top at the moment. So we're going to see how our man Ryan Hawkins, race winner from last week, attacks this circuit. Very aggressive on the brakes, and you can see him just backing it in here into turn 2. Got a bit of traffic in front of him. This could be his lap aborted. Yep, that's not ideal. So unlucky for him, but everyone has to share the circuit in qualifying. So there is a gentleman's rule, I suppose, going around. If you're both on hot laps, there is no reason to get out of the way for a faster driver. Everyone deserves their moment in the sun, or I guess their time to shine, or their hot lap to be valid. So here's Andrew Ferguson, getting it very wide through turn 4. Good to see Fergo back in the server. He's one of the crowd favourites here at AK Racing. Bit of smoke there through the left-right chicane. And he will send his little Caterham off down towards the final turn. Looking to improve on a 1:05.4. He was purple in the first sector, so that means faster than anyone out there on track at the moment. Although his second sector was 4/10 down, so hopefully he's cleaned that up in the final sector and goes quicker by 2/10, which is not enough to go up the order any further, as Ryan Hawkins is still in the provisional pole position, with Luke Newing not far behind, maybe 2/10 off, 2.5 tenths off the pace at the moment. Let's check in with Ryan Ford now, his first time in the season. What are we up to? Season 8, Season 9, Season 7? I can't even remember. I've done so many of these now, we are losing count. But Ryan Ford back in the server here for Wednesday Cup, and he's trying to better a 1:06.4 now on track. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead, so that might be not ideal for him. That is the number 28 of Angus Wells. Another... 2 into 1 doesn't go. Sorry, guys. Jamie Kennedy. And it looks like Angus Wells also having... Angus, mate, if you're listening, if you're watching, if you've just binned it, please don't get back onto the track on the racing line. There are guys going around on their hot lap. Please don't get in their way. Your lap is ruined. Get off the racing line, son. The 05 car of Mark Trenery is back in the server this week. Angus Wells really needs to get out of this. He cannot be obstructing cars like this. The stewards will certainly be having a talk to the young man after the race. But here is Mark Trenery. We're going to ride on board. See how he attacks turn 2. It seems like a bit of a roller coaster of a circuit here. Short and sweet. Mostly fast. Foot to the floor, I think, a fair amount of the time. Just a slight lift here and then bang the throttle to get the arse around. Try not to go too wide there, because there is a massive, I guess it's a pothole. Maybe it'll launch a car into the stratosphere. Moxie says, let's go, Newing, let's go. So Luke Newing got a few fans in the audience right now. So they're all cheering on our man in second place. We're going to see if Mark Trenery can improve on his 1:06.2. Looking at his predicted time, it looks like he is about 6/10 up. So he might just scrape in the 1:05s. We're going to see if he can put that to the metal. It's going to be very close. Oh, 1:06.017. So not quite into the 5s, but definitely capable of it. With 41 seconds to go, this will be the last lap of qualifying. Jim Park has entered the server, so he is just doing some drifty for fun. Good on you, Jim Park. Kennedy now up to second, eclipsing Luke Newing, and the fans at home will be spewing about that. Ryan Kennedy, certainly a man not to be messed with out here on track. One of the quicker guys in Wednesday Cup. But I tell you what, the new guy has new guy Hawkins. 104.3. That has definitely set the gauntlet down. That is 0.5 quicker than our man Ryan Kennedy at the moment. Newing has pulled it up. He's going to have to be happy with third place. Kennedy's our man now to see if he can get it onto pole. First sector was 0.3 down. He's going to have to make up. He's going to have to make up half a second in this final turn. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Reggie's still having troubles with his real penalty system. Sorry to hear, mate. That's gutted for you, mate. It's good to have you out on track, and especially at your home race this season. You would have gone well, and I guess made proud your fellow countrymen. But that does conclude qualifying. We got Ryan Hawkins on top with a 104.3. 0.5 behind is Ryan Kennedy. So it's a battle of the Ryans. Hawkins is cheating, says Tyler. Don't know about that. Andrew Ferguson third on a 104.9. Luke Newing fourth. Tyler Craig fifth. Arthur Liang in the top six. Mark Trenery seventh. Ford, Longley, Kennedy. And Jim Park, Joshua Piancatelli, Angus Wells round out the top 13. Tyler Craig reckons Hawkins is cheating. We've got all the anti-cheat happening behind the scenes on the server, so there is no way to do that unless there's a sneaky track cut that I wasn't aware of that I did not pick up beforehand. I'll tell you what, this race is going to be spicy. We've got the battle of the Ryans off the front row. Who can Ryan supreme? Oh boy, we've got all the dad jokes here at AK Racing and Wednesday Cup. Andrew Ferguson off his best start of the season so far. He'll be off the second row with Luke Newing. Tyler Craig and Liang off the third. Trenery and Ford off the fourth. Longley and Kennedy to round out the top 10. And we will be back, ladies and gentlemen, in a short couple of minutes for what I suspect to be an action-packed race one. Do not adjust your dials. My name is Chris Munro. We will return in a couple of minutes for race one. We're back in the server, ladies and gentlemen. Ready for race one. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a race. Let's see if we can do a little fly around. Where the rest of it? Oh, here we go. Slowly got drivers joining the server. Let's see if we can get a little view. We're going to sit in this little starters box here. Prime position. Very good, very good. Got Reggie Righteous claiming pole position in the chat. Reckons he did a 1:04.1 in practice. It's no good if you're having technical difficulties there, mate. Got a car missing on the server there. 1, 2, 3, 4. What would it be? Position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoever that is. Arthur Liang has not entered the server for race 1. He's got about 40 seconds to get in. There he is. We've got a full grid now with, who's that right at the very back? We've got Jace, NZ1. I don't know who that is. That must be a newcomer to the series. So hopefully he's done enough practice and isn't too much of a a nuisance out there. We've had a request for a start from one of the viewers at home, so we're going to give it. We've got all the lights on, and it's lights out, and away we go and racing. Hawkins off to a great start. It's very hard to do this one-handed. Kennedy looking up the inside. It looks like he's going to have the whole shot, but Hawkins maybe just wants to hang it around the outside there. And he does so. Hawkins takes the lead from Kennedy. Newing third, Liang up to second, and Ford is dropping down the pack. He's had a shocking start. Liang into fifth position now. Kennedy looking. That is Jamie Kennedy. We have two Kennedys in the server right now. Luke Newing's had a shocker. What's happened to him? Ladies and gentlemen, his bad luck in racing in the races has continued. Back to the front of the pack, we've got swapping for positions here between Piancantelli and Angus Wells. And it looks like Longley is the big winner out of that little battle. He's just headed up into 8th. Wells looking down the inside, just hanging close, and it looks like number 75 of Piancantelli is going to take that position. Ford's got an absolute blistering run now. He's going to challenge these guys up the straight. Look at him flying in a straight line. Oh my goodness, he's going to go up the inside of Piancantelli, and Wells is trying to squeeze his little nose in between them. I don't know if that's a great move. He's just hit the nose of Piancantelli. Angus, mate, please be more aware of the cars around you. Unreal, mate. Anyway, back to the front. We got Tyler Craig on the back of Andrew Ferguson. And he's going to be in a mood, I think, Tyler Craig, because he was sitting, from memory, I think he was second in the championship coming into this round. And our championship leader is sitting on the sidelines watching with I guess it's just a broken car. We can say that in sim racing. Technical difficulties can be akin to just a broken car. Ryan Kennedy sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:04.7. So he is making leeway on Ryan Hawkins in front. So it is still the battle of the Ryans up front. Ferguson second, Tyler Craig fourth. Arthur Liang on debut is having an absolute cracking race here in the top 5. Ryan Ford is making his way forward as well. No pun intended. But he's come through the pack quite nicely. Yeah, it would be Reggie says he's a frowning face, and fair enough. At his home track, ladies and gentlemen, and it's all happening for him. Jace, I'm just going to call him Jason for now. We're going to get that fixed up during the week, and we'll have his real name on the board for everyone. But he's dropping down through the order. Piancantelli is last of all, but he had a bit of a, I guess, a bit of a mishap there with Angus Wells earlier in the race. Tyler Craig and Fergo still the closest battle on track. Actually, we're going to go back to Mark Trenery because he's made his way up behind Angus Wells. We're right on board with Wells and look behind maybe. Actually, we might be able to do something like this. There we go. Trenery making that move stick, and there's a car off in front. That looks like Ollie Longley. He's going to be slow coming into this this section here, and both Wells and Trenery are taking advantage of that. Oh, the boy's getting very close. Who's going to be last on the brakes? Looks as though it's Angus Wells, so he's going to stick to the inside there, and Longley has to concede. But he lives to fight another day, and I have a feeling they certainly will. Looking up the front here, and Tyler Craig is challenging our man Andrew Ferguson for third place. Oh boy, they got pretty close there. There might have even been a bit of contact. But Fergo just navigates that turn 1 and the heavy braking zone in the turn 2 very nicely. It's quite a tricky braking zone, to be honest. You're not really in a straight line for much of it at all, if any. So trying to brake whilst turning the wheel is difficult at the best of times. But, I mean, when you're at top speed on these things, it's quite a long straight, so they'd be, I don't even know what speed they'd be doing, but it's probably fast. Very difficult, but Tyler Craig has gotten past Fergo with all this chatter. Didn't even notice. So he's off and up the road looking at Ryan Kennedy, but he is 3.5 seconds away. Looking back through the field, it's all starting to, I guess, level out a little bit. So we'll see how Fergo attacks this circuit. Really aggressive on that turn 4 left-hander. It's what we like to see. There's a big pothole in this track. There's actually a couple of them. The other one being in the GP layout. But we're not visiting that part of the circuit in this configuration. Oh, big slide from Fergo. Very good car control to keep that under wraps. And quite a nice line through there, and he gets a very nice run down the Dunlop back straight here at Ruapuna Park. We're going to go check out Angus Wells now, who is making a move on Jamie Kennedy. He's might have outbraked himself a little bit there and didn't quite give the racing room. Stewards are going to be looking at that as well. Yeah, I know it's definitely bumpy virtually. Obviously, I've never driven here IRL, but it looks like a pretty high quality mod. So they've included the bumps for all of us racing from our living rooms or wherever you may be, bedrooms. Tell you what, Jamie Kennedy is looking very racy around the outside of these two who are battling in front. Coming in for the switchback into turn 2. He's side by side with Angus Wells. It's probably not the safest place to be. Angus Wells looking for a switchback into the turn 4 kink. Oh my goodness, they both go wide. But Jamie Kennedy has made this move stick. But knowing Angus Wells, he's going to just shove it up the inside as he does and takes out our man Jamie Kennedy. Wells. Last warning, my man. Back to Ferguson, who is 1 second behind Tyler Craig, who seems to have made up a fair amount of ground after getting around Fergo. Luke Newing on the comeback drive. Let's go and watch him for a little while. Not sure what happened. We didn't catch what happened to him at the start. But he went from the second row to the very back. And judging by that line through there at turn 4, he is on a mission. I might be thinking he just likes doing recovery drives. Maybe that's the thing. But we'll give him some airtime because he's certainly got a few fans in the chat. Cheer on our man Luke Newing. Hopefully he can get... Well, we've got 6 minutes to go, and what's he about? Well, he's got about 7 seconds to 5th place, so it's going to be a tall order for our man Luke Newing. But as we saw in practice and qualifying, he has got the pace. Just needs to put it all together. He's trying to set up a move on Ford at the moment. Ryan Ford. We've got 3 Ryans in the server right now. Confusing for me. But he can't seem to make any headway here, so he might just be looking at 6th place, I think, as his best option if he can get past Ryan Ford at the moment. It looks like Tyler Craig's had a bit of a moment, and that has brought Andrew Ferguson right back up about half a second behind. So that'll definitely give Ferguson a bit of encouragement. Looking forward here, his eyes will be forward and they will be wide open. Saying, come on Tyler, make another mistake. Newing right up behind Ford here. I did not notice that, but Newing must have had an absolute cracking run out of the final turn. Clatters across the curbing, and that's given Ryan Ford a bit of an invitation up the inside. So they're going to go 2 wide through the kink. What's going to happen? Both give each other a nice amount of room. See, that's how we do it, boys and girls. Very respectful out here on track. There's a car off. That looks like... That must be a lapped car because it doesn't come up on the timing screen. So Luke Newing still in a battle with Ford. He's only 7 tenths behind, but I think that might be the door closing for Ryan Ford there with Luke Newing probably just going to walk away at this point. Fergo still half a second behind. We've got more chopping and changing for positions down here. Kennedy has lost the rear coming into the hairpin. With these cars, you might see a lot of guys losing the rear under braking. The way to fix that is to blip your throttle, or in the old terms, rev match. So when you go to change down gears, kick that throttle in. Hawkins has fallen down through the order. He's had to take a pit stop. What's happened here? Ryan Hawkins has fallen from grace. He is down in 10th now. Oh, he's got Biancatelli trying to turn in on him. What a disaster for Hawkins. Oh, my goodness. That's given Tyler Craig straight up to 2nd place. And I tell you, the bloke who'll be smiling the most is Andrew Ferguson because he snuck his way on the podium now. God forbid any sort of disaster happening. He's got a fair good gap to Arthur Liang, who's looking at a top 4 on debut. And that is not to be sniffed at all. Just got to hold it together. He's got a massive gap to Luke Newing behind, who has come back for a top 5 finish. My word, it's all happening here. That is an F. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened there, Reggie. Do you reckon he's run out of fuel? He might have short fueled himself. I don't know. Taking a trip through pit lane for no reason. Who knows? Maybe it was a penalty. Maybe he got too many cuts. Might have been a drive-through penalty, come to think of it. And thank you to my personal fans out there sending me distractions on my phone. That's really hard to not look at. Thank you very much. Look, now we've got a minute 37 to go, and we're just going to go look back through the field here and see. Where's the other Kennedy? I'm clicking on the wrong Kennedy. Is Kennedy? No, he's back in the lead. What has gone on here? No, it was Hawkins, sorry. Yep, now we've cleared that up. Sorry, there was a lot of distractions going on here at home. It was Hawkins who had a drive-through penalty, we suspect. But we'll get the lowdown. Yeah, we'll get the lowdown after the race. You only get 5 cuts in this series. So if you go across, and you can see his racing line there, I think you might be right, Reggie. I reckon he has toyed with the limits a little bit too much there at turn 4. And he might have had a involuntary trip through the pit lane. Wave to his pit crew, mechanics. Thank you guys for the hard work, but I'm just going to have to go slow on this lap. 14 seconds to go, and we got Ryan Kennedy. That will be the last lap. Ryan Kennedy now has won the initial battle of the Ryans. There are 3 of them in the server, apparently. It's a day for Ryans, apparently. So he's coming around the final lap now to finish the race. Great run there from Kennedy. Was gifted from Hawkins. I can't remember who was in the lead beforehand. But Ryan Kennedy crosses the line for the win in race 1. 5 seconds behind is Tyler Craig, and that will elevate him to number 1 in the championship. Ferguson across the line for the final spot on the podium. Arthur Liang now 4th on debut. Absolute brilliant stuff there from Arthur Liang. Luke Newing on a recovery drive to 5th. Ryan Ford 6th. Mark Trenery across the line 7th. And Jace NZ1, who's a newcomer to this series, he must have just signed up before we got underway tonight, has come in the top 8, which is great stuff, behind Wednesday Cup OG Ollie Longley. Ryan Hawkins, after a disaster of a race, comes across the line in 10th. Angus Wells is circulating around the Dunlop Straight, and he will cross the line soon. Jamie Kennedy had a hard-fought battle there with Angus Wells, and he's come off second best this time, but there are 2 more races to go this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Parks finished it up. He's going to do some donuts with the rest of the boys. We might go and watch them from above, if we can. There's donuts happening all over the place here at Ruapuna Park. And Piancatelli crosses the line in 14th. Well, that was a pretty good race. That had it all. We had some of the leaders having a shocking start and getting shoved back to the back. Had some of the guys from the back making their way to the front. Bit of something for everyone, and a fair few people in the server too by the end of it. So that is race 1 done and dusted. Our podium is Kennedy, Craig and Fergo. Well done to those guys. Not much in it really in the end. We'll have to chat to Ryan Hawkins after the race and see, or after the night, and see what actually happened in race 1 there. But we've got 35 seconds to go in this server, so we will be back in a couple of minutes with a top 5 reverse grid for race 2. So that leaves Luke Newing on pole. His fan club will be happy about that. With Arthur Liang off the front row, Andrew Ferguson and Tyler Craig off the second row, and Ryan Kennedy off the third with Ryan Ford. So another battle for the Ryans, but it'll be off the third row. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with more AK Racing Wednesday Cup in just a couple of short minutes. And we're back again, ladies and gentlemen, for race 2. It's 1 minute longer than the previous race, so we're going around for 16 minutes this time. So hopefully the drivers have popped a couple of extra litres of fuel in just to get to the end. Don't want anyone running out. Where are we? We're right at the back of the pack here. That's my broadcast car, so we're going to just make our way to the front of the field as we see all the drivers making their way into the server. We might just park up. Oh, what do you reckon down here? We'll get a big bird's eye view of the start. Maybe that's the best option. We've got the lights up and we're almost ready for racing. And we're off and we are racing for race 2, and it looks like Luke Newing hasn't got the best of starts. Arthur Liang looking up the inside. I'm going to have to get back on the action here. Arthur Liang does have the whole shot, and he's going to try and outbrake Luke Newing, who goes around the outside. It is all happening here, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Craig trying to clean up the scraps, but Luke Newing has come out on top with Arthur Liang just making a bit of a mistake on the exit of turn 3. They all file through fairly safely, it looks like, through turn 4. Maybe Mark Trenery having a bit of an off there. Jace has had a cracking start, and he's up to 5th. But he gets turned around by Fergo. Oh, and Tyler Craig's going to have a little bump on the run. But it looks like Jace is going to hold it together because of the left-right option there. He will have the outside, though, for the last turn. Let's ride on board. See how he attacks this. He's got Tyler Craig right up the inside there, and he just gives him just enough room. But Tyler Craig having the inside on that wide radius turn is definitely enough. Here's Ryan Hawkins now, who said he just teleported back to pits for no reason. That's a bit of an issue. Might be something to look at in your game, but he's going to pull out of the slipstream of Jace NZ1, and he's going to have the inside run. Will he get on the brakes late enough? Certainly will. And that will be one position gained for Ryan Hawkins up to 6th. There's a swap. Oh, there was a swap for the lead. It looks like Ryan Kennedy and Luke Newing battling it out. Ryan Kennedy's had an absolutely cracking start. He's going to go around the outside now, looking down to the final turn. Luke Newing needs to get on the brakes later to... just squeezed him for room, and a little bit of contact maybe. But that gives Ryan Kennedy the lead. Newing has gone off the track, and that's giving Liang a bit of a look around the outside. It's halted both of their momentum, and that's given Ryan Kennedy's just buggered off down the road. He's got a 1.1 second lead already. Fergo looking for some scraps as well. He's now side by side with Liang and Tyler Craig. They're actually going to come together. It's going to be a bit of a 3-wide action here. Can I get a little look at where they are? There we go. So Ferguson did have to back out of it, but he's got an absolute cracking run. So he will take that position from Liang. Liang is boxed in. He's got nowhere to go. Ferguson knows this, so he's going to just try and poke his little nose up the inside, gets a bit of curbing. Tyler Craig on the outside, giving him room. Very nicely done. But then covers across in defence, and that is Ryan Hawkins, who has outbraked himself, and he is off the track. He's gone. Tyler Craig holding on to 3rd spot with a very racy-looking Ferguson and Liang and Jace New Zealand 1. So maybe, well, it is. There's another home racer there. Might be his home track. Who knows? But he's got a very good run on Liang in front. So these guys are going to go side by side up the straight, possibly for the second time around. Daddy needs to stop looking at his phone while he's broadcasting. Here we go. We got Fergo right up behind Craig. He's going to try and get late on the brakes there into this little hairpin chicane. It's a very tough little section, that. Pretty much just a chicane in the GP layout. Sorry, a hairpin in the GP layout. But add this outer loop to it, and it becomes like a double back, like a bus stop chicane, I suppose. Very tight. I think the timing tower's doing funny things. It is. Fergo's still sitting in the slipstream of Tyler Craig now. After a couple of laps, Hawkins is now up behind Mark Trenery, looking for that inside run. And I think they're side by side. They might just be going wheel to wheel into turn 2. They are. But Hawkins does have the advantage of the inside line, and he will take that advantage and use it all the way to the edge of the track and promote himself into 7th position. Here we go, these two. Jace and Liang are battling it out again. We're going to see them coming into the chicane. Oh, a few smoke signals. We've got brakes locking up. There was maybe a little bit of contact between the guys. It looks like Jace on the outside, Liang on the inside. A little bit of bumping and shoving here, but that's okay. It's play on for now. And Jace ends up with that position of the in the top 5 now. Oh, goodness me. It's all happening on track here with a top 5 reverse grid has brought out some amazing racing. Kennedy, Tyler Craig setting the fastest lap of the race, 1:04.6. So that is that's pretty quick. I'm pretty sure that's faster than what he did in qualifying. Liang and Jace are just still a 10th away from each other. These two, oh, he's got a big lock up. Liang trying to look up the inside of Jace. Doesn't get it. Doesn't get the move done. Jace had an absolute great drive around the outside of that turn. Holy moly! Oh, this is great stuff. Watching these guys in battle, both on debut tonight, by the way. So hopefully we see these guys again in Wednesday Cup, because this is what you want to watch. This is what you want to watch on a broadcast. Two guys just going at it and being quite respectful in the way they do it. Newing trying to make some ground up on Kennedy in the lead. It's half a second the gap. See what sort of times they post as they go past. So Luke Newing was 0.2 off, with Tyler Craig setting the fastest lap again 2 laps in a row. So he is looking pretty good in race trim. Fergo can't quite keep up. So Hawkins now is actually, you might be able to see him in the mirror. Oh, Liang with a big lockup. But we're going to switch to Hawkins, who is just behind where we were now, and he's made up a fair bit of ground on these two in front. He will be driving a little bit angry after that moment he had into this turn here. Definitely outbraked himself and sent some smoke signals right off into the bunda. But he gets all the action to watch. He's got a front row ticket for all this action happening in front of him. He probably wants Liang to just get a bit of a move on at the moment. As it looks like Jace is starting to stretch the legs on that Caterham. 1/10 quicker than Liang in that last time past. Hawkins now, season opening up the inside. Clatters off the curbing. Oh, very good to not make contact there. Luke Newing has had a moment, and he's off the track. He's turned around. Where is that? That's a turn 4, just between turn 4 and 3. He's dropping down the order. That's unlucky for Luke Newing. He's had terrible luck, every race so far. Back to this battle here, and Hawkins is right up behind Arthur Liang now. Only 0.4 difference, but in these slow cars, 0.4 is pretty close. All it takes is just one little mistake on entry, one little mistake on exit, and that 0.4 Turns into 1/10, which is what's happened here. Whoa, Liang's got big sideways there. I don't know if there was contact, but Hawkins is going to take advantage of that and go straight around the outside. Liang trying to tuck into the slipstream and try and get towed along this straight. Perhaps maybe to have visions of chucking it up the inside at turn 2. I don't know. Oh, he's definitely going to try. He's got that line, but Hawkins just too far in front this time around. There's another car off the track there. It looks like... Can't see. It must be Wells. I'm going to say it's... No, it wasn't Wells. Sorry, Wells. Someone's off the track, but Jace is dropping down through the order. Hawkins right up behind him now. Hawkins is on an absolute warpath. There's 3 of them. Three-way battle here. I'm right on board with Liang because he's got the best seat in the house to watch all this unfold. Liang going... Jace, New Zealand 1 going defensive, looking for like a bit of a late apex, but it looks like Hawkins has just shoved his little Caterham nose. Oh, Liang getting all crossed up on the exit. That is going to cost him. So we're going to go to the wide view here because Hawkins is right up beside Jace, and he's going to just have the overlap here going into turn 1, which means all he has to do is find his brake marker, which he does. Oh, sends a little bit of smoke. We've seen Jace being pretty good around the outside here, but Hawkins... Well, there you go. I eat my words. Jace is very good around the outside at turn 1, and he's going to hold that position into the little kink left-hander at turn 4. Hawkins maybe chucking the dummy here. He does. Goes for the late move. Has to pull out of it. It's Jace having a bit of a squirrely moment on entry, and that's going to leave him quite vulnerable around the outside here. Hawkins now, they're both side by side coming into the final turn. This is great racing from the boys. No tears yet, and Hawkins just feeds it around the outside. Jace has to compromise his exit just a little bit to accommodate for that space around the outside, and Hawkins gets that move done. And here they go around again, another lap, nose to tail. Jace now doing the chasing. Can he pull out of the slipstream and maybe chuck it up the inside? Is probably what he's thinking. But then again, he knows he's good around the outside, and there he goes. He's looking for that outside line, that momentum line. Hawkins wise to it, and he will hold the position for now, but dead set, there's a bee's dick between them. Is there enough room to... I thought Jace was just going to pop his nose up in the inside there. Probably not the wisest idea in a fast, sweeping little left-hander there. Liang now having a look up the inside. Oh, there's not much room there for him to go. Holy moly. I don't want to look away. This is all happening. I'm just going to check the timing tower. No, this is the closest battle on track. So we will be sticking with these guys for now. And thank God, because this is worth the price of admission for entertainment. Liang looking for a late exit here. A late apex to get that run. And oh my word, he has got the run. Just pulls out of the slipstream at Jace. There's a bit of rubber banding going on the server. Might have to check some ping levels there, but Liang has the inside line. They are wheel to wheel. Who's going to brake first? Who's going to brake second? Liang locking up the tyres, but that is enough for him to get on the inside. Jace looking for the switchback out of turn 2. Doesn't quite have the momentum this time, but he'll be setting himself up for a little overtake into this heavy braking zone. Oh, Liang really testing the track limits here at Ruapuna. That turn 4 we've seen and we've heard from some of the drivers has a very strict track cut policy. As we've said before, the drivers do get 5 chances to cut the track. Not saying that they should cut the track, but on the 6th time they do get themselves or earn themselves a little trip down pit lane. Oh, that's Hawkins. He's around in the final turn. He must have just fed that a bit too much, and he's gone around. That is an absolute shocking end to this race for Hawkins. There's only 2 minutes to go. He's not going to make up too many positions from there. That's promoted Liang to another 4th. Oh, look at these two. They're at it again. Jace hanging it right out wide. Coming on the entry there to turn 2. Having a look up and down the order here. Luke Newing Still 5 seconds off these guys, and he's got Trenery in right up his ass. I think Newing actually overtook these guys in all that commotion, so he will be just stretching his legs now, trying to make up as much ground as he can to Jace and Liang, but I think they've, with a minute 57 to go, that's about it. Liang has given up that place there, I think, to Jace. I don't know. There might have been a bit of contact earlier on in that lap when we weren't focusing on them with the cameras. It's usually the case. Ford now up behind Trenery. Ryan Ford had a pretty good race in the first one. Looking to improve here. Trenery just looking in his mirrors. I think he's probably half thinking about going defensive, but he's left that door open just a little bit too long, and Ford is going to sneak up the inside there and get on the brakes and turn in and come out of that turn number 2, and he will promote himself up into 7th position. Very nicely done there, as we see Hawkins certainly driving in a bit of anger now. He's laying it all on the line. Probably pretty upset with himself. I think that was a self-inflicted bin there at the final turn. Ryan Kennedy, however, will be coming across the line to start his final lap. Tyler Craig just making his way around. That must be Pian Catelli on debut. Don't be discouraged, Joshua. These drivers here at AK Racing are some of the fastest in the country, so do not be discouraged by the pace that is out here. If you keep practicing, you will find yourself up the order more and more. Each week you get better and better. So stick at it, son. You'll get the idea. Jamie Kennedy has parked it for the evening. He's off into the pit lane. Ryan Kennedy now coming around the second last corner, which will be the second last corner of this race. Tyler Craig is only a second behind, but it's not going to be enough because Ryan Kennedy takes out race 2 of this evening here at Ruapuna. Great racing, guys. Tyler Craig in second. Andrew Ferguson coming across the line for his second podium of the night. Chase NZ1 has had a cracking race as well. These guys had one of the best battles I've ever seen in this series so far. So far, that is battle of the night between Jace, Liang and Hawkins. Newing crossed the line in 6th. Ryan Ford in 7th. Ryan Hawkins has popped it into the pits already. He won't be happy with that. Mark Trenery doesn't look like he's happy with his finish there, just smashing straight into the wall. Ollie Longley top 10. Angus Wells, Jim Park, Joshua Piancatelli is going to join in the celebrations post-race. And Jamie Kennedy did park it up a bit earlier. Whew. I got to catch my breath after that. That was some of the best racing we've seen in this series so far. Absolutely unreal from the guys. And 2 of the newcomers, Jace and Liang, bloody good stuff. And I guess Hawkins is a part of that too. He's one race deep in Wednesday Cup, and he's already battling it out like he's a seasoned professional. Tyler Craig still doing burnouts. Those rear wheels are going to be nice and hot. We see the flames coming out of that thing. The guys are having a good fun. Having a good time. It's good to see. We'll run through the order once more, and then I'm going to have a little break before we hit race 3. Kennedy, Craig, and Fergo are your top 3 for the race 2 of the evening. For the race 2. Goodness me. For race 2 of the evening. I have a tendency to stop at the scene of the accident here. I got to just keep ploughing on. One minute to go on the service, so we're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be back in 2 or 3 short minutes. Yeah, Scott, your boy's just having a bad run tonight. He had 30k on Newing. Well, tell you what, next week I will act as bookmaker and I will take any bets you guys want to make. If you're having 30k on Newing, sorry, Luke, you might find yourself with a bit of ballast next week. As it is, it's going to be a top 10 reverse grid in the second race. So we're going to have Ollie Longley and Mark Trenery off the front row. Hawkins and Ford off the second row. Luke Newing and Liang off the third. Jace Fergo off the fourth. And Ryan Kennedy and Tyler Craig a fair way back. So that's going to be interesting. Newing MVP for real, absolutely. He's going to have to prove himself in race 3, but stick around because we will be back for that very soon. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for our third and final helping of Wednesday Cup for tonight. We've got a 17-minute race, and it is a top 10 reverse grid. So I feel like there could be a few fireworks coming in this race. What do you guys think at home? Top 10 reverse grids are the most dangerous of reverse grids. What's set up just here? Here we go. Yeah, certainly a bit of action coming. There's no doubt about that. What we'll do actually is we're right on board with Longley. Maybe get a reverse view. I don't know. Why is it doing that? Oh, it's not going to let me. Anyway, we're set for a start in race 3 for this evening. Who's your money on? We've got Scott's had 30K on Luke Newing. And we're away and racing, and Longley's off to a good start. We got Trenery up on the inside. Hawkins has made ground off the start too. We're going to follow along with him. He looks like he's going to try his luck around the outside there on Ollie Longley. Braking later and just hopefully leaving a bit of space on the outside. There is Longley. Oh, he's come off the curbing, and that will give Hawkins the lead of the race. Longley sits in behind. Trenery third. Luke Newing fourth. Liang looking up the inside. Wasn't going to make that move stick there. Jace is looking up the inside. Oh, let's have a look on board. Oh, Liang's missed his brake marker, and guess who was the one that lost out? Oh, Luke Newing. No. Can this man have any worse luck? I don't think it's possible. Holy moly. Did you step on a black cat whilst walking under a ladder and breaking a mirror at the same time? Who knows? Possibly. But we're going to go forward now and look up the order with Ryan Kennedy, who's made up a fair amount of ground. He's made up 5 spots already. So he's looking at Mark Trenery in front. So we're going to just ride on board here. And he's just got a slight overlap. Trenery gives him room. Very respectful. He's going to try and get a little 2 for 1. Oh, big cross-up. Kennedy. Brilliant car control. And Trenery's on the outside. So these guys are going 3 wide. Fergo's having a look up the inside. Go, son. Oh, he's going to have to pull out. You can't go 3 right around there. But Tyler Craig is sniffing. He's looking to clean up the scraps. They're going to go 3 wide again. 2 wide maybe. Hawkins around the outside. Kennedy around the outside. Trenery just turning across in front of Fergo. But Luke Newing in the back. Just hoping this battle continues so he can make up a few free spots after that bit of a disaster again. Tyler Craig. Yeah, he did. It looked like one of the cars. It was the number 39 car that looked like it missed their braking marker, and the person that lost out the most was Luke Newing. Tyler Craig now. He's up the inside. They are side by side. There's Kennedy in the background as they go around. So Craig has got that position done. Hawkins still leads the race. Over 4 seconds to Jace New Zealand. Longley really making a battle out of this. He's going to maybe jink up the inside. Can we get on board this way? That's the way. Jace comes across to cover it. Ollie getting very close to the back of that blue Caterham in front. Ryan Kennedy and Craig are very much behind these two as well. We're going to go to the wide view and see what's happening behind. So we've got Kennedy, Craig, and Fergo in hot pursuit. They're all under a second to each other at the moment. Jace New Zealand is looking for his first podium on debut here tonight at the Wednesday Cup. Oh, that was great racing. There wasn't as much carnage as one might expect in a top 10 reverse grid. But as I've said, we do have the best drivers in the country here at AK Racing in Assetto Corsa. So if you're at home and want to test your skills against some of these guys, look us up on Facebook, AK Racing. There's a link to the Discord there, and that's where all the racing is run from that Discord. Ollie Longley doing a really good job holding these guys at bay. To be honest, he was 10th in the second race. So he started from pole. Server PB there from Jim Park. Whoa, there's a cigarette paper in between all of these guys, and Tyler Craig just takes the long way around there, the second half of that chicane, and gets the move done. So we've got Kennedy, Craig, Ollie Longley, and Fergo looking to keep up with those guys in front. Ollie Longley trying to defend for the rest of the race. I don't know. It's a long race to go. It is the longest race of the evening, 17 minutes. Oh boy. Jim Park and Angus Wells look like they came together there. Jimmy Park will drop down the order to 13th position. But there's one thing about Jim Park. He will not give up. He's one of those guys who will cop a bit of bad luck during the race, but you won't hear him complain. He'll just get back behind the wheel and race to the end because it's about fun. We have fun here at Wednesday Cup, and that's certainly what Jim's doing. But now looking back up the order here, Tyler Craig locking up the brakes and looking up the inside of Kennedy. Wasn't going to happen. Fergo still behind Ollie. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 car battle now. And I'm going to ride on board with Luke Newing because he's got the best seat in the house to watch all the goings-on ahead. It looks like that was... Who's that in front there? Ollie Longley getting a bit squirrely on the entry there to the final turn. Fergo will be liking his chances now. Sitting in the slipstream. He's following him across the track. Doing a bit of, Formula 4, Formula 3. Although I do have to agree with you there. It's more fun when you're winning, Scott. That is true. Fergo makes the move stick up the inside there at turn 2 on Ollie Longley. And Luke Newing will be trying to replicate that as quickly as possible, I think, just to stay in touch with those top 3. And he does so. So Ollie makes a mistake there at turn 4, and that will give Newing, the perfect opportunity to slide it in around this little chicane. Just gets the overlap done, and that will be the position for him. Looking up ahead of the field now, Jace is still holding Kennedy, Fergo, Newing, Craig, all at bay. He's just put a little bit of a gap now. He's stretched that gap to about 7/10 to Kennedy. Tyler Craig still in touch as well. Fergo took a little bit longer to get around Longley earlier, so he needs to put his head down and just build that gap, drop that gap a little bit in front of him. Tyler Craig right up behind Kennedy here. He might even have, I thought he might have even had a bit of an overlap there. Oh, I will learn to speak one day. Just looking for a late apex. Tyler Craig just tippy-toeing around that left-hander there. Might not be super comfortable with that turn as of yet, but he makes up a lot of ground under brakes. Very good under brakes is Tyler Craig. And just trying to get that Caterham turned, and it was sort of a late apex there to try and get that run down the Dunlop straight here. The second straight on the track, and I must say this is the most important turn on the circuit. If you can get this last turn right, it'll set yourself up for the overtake into turn 2, and that's what we've seen all night long. We've seen, as we're seeing right now, Luke Newing having a look on Fergo, but Fergo was wise to it. He came across and covered that inside line early down the straight, and I think that's what you got to do, boys and girls out there watching. Keep an eye on that delta and see how your exit was in that final turn. And if you've had a shocker and there's a car behind you, it's probably best to just go straight on the defense. As we see Tyler Craig having a look around the outside of Kennedy, who has also taken Jace. New Zealand 1. Goodness me. It's all happening here. We're going to ride on board with Jace because he's got it all happening in front of him. He's lost a couple of positions here. We didn't quite see what happened. Tyler Craig getting a little bit squirrely on the outside. Jace getting a good run here. This could be every commentator's dream of 3 wide into turn 1. We're going to find out shortly. Oh, he's had an absolute cracking run, and he will slot himself up the inside of Kennedy. Oh, boy, they're going to do it here. Tyler Craig opting to just stay out of it. It was probably the wise idea. But Jace has taken back that second position in this race. Kennedy trying to argue the point, and he does. So it's actually Kennedy second. Third is Jace. Tyler Craig fourth. Tyler Craig wants to just have a little bit of a send down the inside, but he's been stuck behind Jace for a little while now, and he knows that he's very good under brakes. And Jace just giving Kennedy a bit of a knock, and that's stunted his momentum, and Tyler Craig will take full advantage of that, and he will be side by side coming into the final turn. Jace is going to have to give him room. Craig looking for maybe a switchback sort of maneuver. It looks like he's got a pretty good exit. We're going to find out here riding along. He's got the slipstream, and he does have a good exit. He is gaining ground. He's going to slip to the inside. Now, the best thing, I think the best option here for Tyler Craig is to try and just take that racing line. Push Jace as far as he can off that track. Legally, obviously. Which he's done, and Tyler Craig takes that third position away. Very good racecraft from the guys so far tonight. Beautiful driving there. Jace, yeah, very nicely done. Had the run, but it's not the place to go sticking your nose in there at turn 4. It's best to consolidate and maybe go look for a move there. But Tyler Craig was onto it as well. Goes defensive. Kennedy in front, not really making any ground on these guys, or at least clearing any ground on these guys. So Tyler Craig and Jace might just want to work together here for a couple of laps. Try and catch back up to Kennedy, because I tell you what, Hawkins has absolutely checked out. He is 10 seconds in the lead right now, and he's had absolutely zero screen time because he's gone. There's no battling happening there. Fergo and Longley have swapped positions in the meantime, and Trenery's made his way up to 5th, so I suspect Longley and Fergo have come together there at some point, and Newing as well, perhaps, because he's behind all of those guys. No, maybe it was just a server glitch, but there it is. Fergo with a big Tokyo drift gives the position back to Ollie Longley. It looks like they're having a lot of fun there, guys. Very good stuff to see. Tyler Craig now sitting behind Ryan Kennedy. Jace has had a bit of a moment somewhere because he's 1.5 seconds, 1.1 seconds behind Tyler Craig, as it is. Riding on board with Tyler Craig now. He has been very good out of this final turn, so I suspect they're with a good exit and a bit of slipstream. There might be a bit of action in the turn too, but I think Kennedy's had just about as good as exit, but the suck is strong by the looks of it on these little Caterhams. Tyler Craig's going to have the first say into turn 2. Can he get it pulled up? He does. Oh, just that hint of curb action has stunted his momentum there. Kennedy will regain the position. 4.5 minutes to go. It's about 4 laps, maybe 5, depending on where the leader is. Tyler Craig with a very good run, but he has to concede. And, oh, look, the gap's open. Kennedy has outbraked himself. We'll have the... Oh, I don't think there was contact there. I think just Craig was anticipating a bit of a wider run from Kennedy and did so well. They both survived for another lap. Longley's up behind Ferguson again. These guys are going hard. Luke Newing on yet another recovery drive. Holy moly, he's going to be the recovery man, we're going to have to call him. But these three are now nose to tail. Luke Newing in the paint-splattered Caterham. He's going to try his luck around the outside. This is a bold move. Oh, I suppose it's the right move because Longley and Ferguson are getting right stuck into each other, and poor old Newing's just got nowhere to go. He's boxed in here. There's not much doing. He's probably best just getting out of the throttle, trying to get that inside line. Shoot it up the inside, son. There it is. Get on the other side of that car. Oh, there's a car off in front. I don't know who that is. It looks like it might be just a lapped car. It is the 75 of Piancatelli on debut tonight. Doing well there to get out of the guy's way. They're having a right old battle here. Speaking of battles, we're up at the front now where Jace has got the run on Tyler Craig. They're going to have to go side by side here this time. Jace has been opting to take that wider line, as we've seen throughout, I guess, all 3 races tonight. And look, Tyler Craig might be having a problem here because he's just let Kennedy go up on the inside of him with absolutely no dramas at all. I think Tyler Craig might be fuel saving. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Tyler Craig might be fuel saving. Let's keep an eye on that as the race progresses. There was definitely a lift and coast there from Tyler Craig coming into turn 2, sorry. Jace losing the back end, and that gives Kennedy and Craig those positions back. Oh, boys. The compression lock is strong with these little cars. You really need to rev it up to get those revs matching on the way down for the downshifts. But as we see, Jace is lining up behind Tyler Craig. There's probably a bit too much of a gap to do anything about it. But the suck is strong here around at Ruapuna. And I tell you what, you cannot say no to a good suck. Tyler Craig up behind Ryan Kennedy now. These guys are dead set. They've been battling it out all race now, and it's been nothing but entertaining. Hawkins is having a very lonely race out in front. 15 seconds now, the gap. Tyler Craig looking where to go. Where does he go? It's hard to say because Kennedy's such a good defensive driver. He just had that car parked in the perfect position there. Tyler Craig couldn't really do anything about it. He had nowhere to go. Reggie Righteous with the funnies, unless it's your uncle. We are in New Zealand, so could be par for the course. When in Rome, as they say. Badum chish. It is Wednesday night, comedy night here at AK Racing Wednesday Cup. Tyler Craig still having a look at I want to say Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy is down in 10th position. We'll check on him. We haven't given him much airtime today. Is Christchurch a fairway south? I thought that was the night they had a big earthquake here a couple of years ago, I believe. Christchurch. From what I've told, it's a very picturesque place. Like most of New Zealand, I suppose. Very, very nice to look at. Tyler Craig up the inside of Ryan Kennedy. He's going to have the run here. Kennedy has the momentum, so Craig's just going to have to sit back and get a little bit more of that suck up that big straight. And he's going to be side by side. He's pulled out. That's the end of the race. Oh, it's too... whoa! Hey! The helicopter Hawkins, we're going to call him, crosses the line in first. Kennedy second. Tyler Craig third. Jace New Zealand with another good result, fourth in this race. Mark Trenery, top 5. That is his best result of the season so far. He'll be absolutely happy about that. Fergo up to sixth. He had two, what do they call them? Podiums tonight, so that's good. Luke Newing, the unluckiest man in Wednesday Cup, comes across the line in second. Ollie Longley, 8th. Arthur Liang, 9th. Great showing from him. Yeah, absolutely. A 104.1 from Hawkins, the best lap. That is absolutely flying. So he's definitely one to watch out for. Reggie, you're going to have to start practicing for the next round. I want to see you blokes battling it out next race. 15 seconds the gap. That's certainly not something to be fluffed at. Jamie Kennedy crossed the line in 10th. Angus Wells 11th. Jimmy Park in 12th. Bianca Telly on debut in 13th. And Ryan Ford in 14th, who's also on debut. Well, actually, we've got heaps of debutants tonight. Jace being the best one so far with a couple of 4th places, a 5th. Arthur Liang, Piancatelli and Ford. So it's good to see some new faces in the server. Let's just get a nice view of the racetrack. We'll go up here and look down on it. Maybe. Oh, God. This is what happens when you get a little bit too confident of your free cam skills. There we go. Wide angle. There we go. We'll stop there. Get a few caravans in the background. Well, that has been and concludes a night of racing here at AK Racing's Wednesday Cup. I'll have to look at the results, but I think Kennedy might be the overall winner tonight. He had some couple of wins and a second, so certainly he'll be one to watch for in the rest of this championship. He's come up to speed very quickly. But, ladies and gentlemen, our next stream will be this Sunday night. And we will be streaming the AK Racing V8 Supercar 2023 Championship. And I tell you what, there's a few good drivers have signed up to race that one. This season I will not be participating, as I will be behind the mic with my usual co-commentator from Wednesday Cup, Mr. Zach O'Reilly. I don't know where he got to this evening, but I'm sure he'll be back on Sunday. Actually, no, he's in Bali. That's right. So he will not be here on Sunday. It will be me solo commentating for the first round of the V8 Supercars. Coming from Phillip Island, the first time that we have visited this beautiful track down in Melbourne, for the first time in a few seasons, actually. So that I'm absolutely looking forward to some tight racing. We've got about 30 cars on the grid. Hawkins will be one to watch in the V8, so I'll be very interested in how he goes. Mum's in Bali. Fergo, you know all about it. He'll be over there getting I don't know, he's probably bought about 20 Bintang singlets already and got a tattoo and maybe some false teeth, all for about $35. But that is the signal for me. That's my voice gone. We're going to wrap up the stream. And thank you all for watching and tuning in to this AK Racing Wednesday Cup special here at Ruapuna Raceway. It's been absolutely delightful. No, thank you, Scott. Thank you for tuning in and tell... love you too, mate. Tell Luke Newing to pull his finger out and give you guys a good show next week, hopefully, and definitely on Sunday for the V8 Supercars. So tune in then. I have been Chris Munro, and you guys have been fantastic, and we will see you on Sunday night.